think he and the Chiefs do 9-7 or better?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say winning, too, because that division's pretty much ass at this point.
I mean, you have a lot of options there. In Tyreek Hill,
Kareem Hunt,
and
Travis Kelce.
I mean, there's talent there, and obviously the Chiefs felt confident that they could move on from Alex Smith. The other thing that makes me say winning season, Andy Reid's a pretty damn good coach.
I mean, he has his faults, but
But
generally
he produced winners for the most part.
He has produced winners. I mean, he coached Donovan McNabb.
Yeah, he brought them to the NFC title game. Actually, I believe
the Super Bowl. Yeah, McNabb was vomiting before the game against the Patriots.
Yeah, well, that's adorable. That's what happens when we went to Syracuse.
You remember the year that he beat the Giants, and I think the division round he went over to the sideline and picked the phone up?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
Let's see if we can find that.
Yeah, we'll have to look for that somewhere on social media or something.
So yeah, I say winning season.
And Dan Beebe, you said winning season too?
Yep.
All right. 2 more. We've got the Browns. Will they start Tyrod Taylor more games this season or Baker Mayfield? This is fun. I like this.
These are good ones.
Yeah, these are getting increasingly difficult.
This might become a weekly staple. I like this.
I'm going to say that they're going to start Tyrod more.
Okay. Why is that?
I don't know that Cleveland doesn't have a good history of rushing their top quarterback onto the field. And
Didn't Deshaun Kaiser start week 1 last season?
It doesn't matter, okay? I'm talking about for the last 12 to 15 years. You'd think eventually they have to learn. And Tyrod Taylor isn't going to be amazing, but at least he's going to offer some consistency, which is something that Cleveland knows nothing about.
So you say that, but we've never... And I know we all hate on Baker Mayfield. He played in the Big 12, where defense is a word that's literally not in the dictionaries in the South. So...
Tyrod Taylor doesn't tend to lose you games, and that defense was good enough last year to keep you in games. I don't think that they're going to immediately put Baker Mayfield onto the field, and Tyrod Taylor will be able to be in enough games long enough that they don't have to have the worry, well, do we put in Baker?
Okay.
And be forced into making that choice. Because I feel like that's been the one thing that killed Cleveland so many times. Is they're like, wow, we suck so bad, we have to put this guy in. Or people are going to burn this place to the ground.
Okay.
Not that they should, because this should be atypical.
All right.
I strictly think, Tyrod's probably going to get more of the playing time. Because
he's experienced.
He's experienced. Baker's probably going to get, his first few games. But, I could see them taking him out. So.
I mean, I'm saying that Tyrod will probably play more than half of the season as the starter. If the season's in the crap hole with 3 weeks left, then I think you'd see Baker.
I just want to mention my wording of the question, because it could come down to, does Tyrod get injured?
Yeah, there's that possibility, but Tyrod doesn't have an overwhelming history of being injured.
Or what I think would be more likely to happen, another quarterback gets injured, say week 4, week 5, and team's like, oh shit, let's get Tyrod. And he gets traded.
I guess that's a possibility too. Outside of those possibilities, as it stands today, I'd pick Tyrod.
Okay. All right. And finally,
nothing would surprise me from Cleveland. Nothing.
Okay. And our last question. Des Bryant more likely to sign with the team this year or retire?
Sign with the team. Someone's going to pick him up.
I'm surprised Jacksonville hasn't called yet.
I think he'll sign with somebody just because he wants to play football somewhere. I think he's probably just being stubborn right now in his choices, and he wants to go somewhere he wants, but that may not be the reality of his situation.
I think the best place for him is Jacksonville.
I don't care.
You take a quarterback who can throw the ball very far, not necessarily accurate, match him up with a wide receiver who can literally cover the entire field. His route running is terrible, but he is big and fast enough to get anywhere on the field that you need him to be. I think that could be a good combination. Anyways, you think he retires, or you think he gets picked up?
There should be a spot for him.
Someone's got to need him. I mean, I just think, like I said, he's being picky right now, and he wants to try and choose when he doesn't realize you're not really in a position to choose it.
That's a good point.
I mean, obviously you're not, because those teams that you want aren't calling you.
Right, and like
and with the idea that injuries and things like that, like, I can't see someone not needing a wide receiver.
Right, of course. I mean, there's
again,
so
the
many.
Patriots don't have anybody. Nobody that I can name.
Well, he doesn't fit the Patriot way.
Well, obviously, but neither did Randy Moss.
That's a good point.
Buffalo could use him.
Buffalo could use him. Jacksonville, Minnesota could use him. Detroit. Who does Detroit have catching footballs?
I don't know.
Who
San
does
Fran.
San Francisco's going for something. It looks to me like San Francisco is going for something that Des Bryant isn't. It looks like they're going for good technical route runners, and Des Bryant at this point in his career is basically just throw the ball. I'll find a way to get to it.
I mean, there's a ton of there's more teams that I can think Des Bryant fits onto than he doesn't right now. Is my argument.
Seattle.
You can go down the list. Seattle, I could see him in Denver.
Yeah.
I mean, there's literally a laundry list of teams he would be able to play
Houston.
on. Chicago.
Washington.
I don't think he'd work in Washington, because again, I think they're going for a specific type of wide receiver. They brought in Terrell Pryor. They've got Deshaun Jackson. So, like, they've got the guys who are deep threat. Des Bryant he can do more than just deep threat. I think Des Bryant's at his best when you throw to him out of the slot and let him take it. His route running, like I said, it's not what it used to be. It's not what it should be. He's either, I think, slot and take it to the house is his best bet, or just let him just cover any part of the field, and if you happen to see him, just throw it somewhere nearish him.
He's a jump ball player, too.
Right.
I mean, that's going to be his forte. Just, I don't know. There's a number of places he could go. I see it highly unlikely that he won't go somewhere, because I feel like his desire to play football will override his desire to be like, oh, well, if they're not going to offer me, I'm not going to do it.
Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's his best bet. But, I'm just happy he's off the Cowboys.
Well, I mean, I guess it is.
Yeah. So, have you heard about this guy? Future MVP?
Oh, Christ, what?
In order to be an MVP, you have to understand how to connect to your teammates, even in unconventional ways. And Baker Mayfield has done just that. According to Waiting for Next Year, which is a website, they seem pretty credible, so I'm going to take their word. Mayfield and Josh Gordon have become quote-unquote close friends thanks to the Xbox. Being creative to connect to his team, that is what sets Baker Mayfield apart from the rest of the NFL. And that is why Baker Mayfield is your 2018-2019 NFL MVP.
Yes.
All right, Tony. I have a feeling that there is something pissing you off this week.
There's something that's pissing me off daily, but I can pick something this week.
Something you just want to get off your chest in a rant?
My rant this week is going to be about the USGA in general. And for those who don't know, it's the U.S. Golf Association. Now, there was a lot of particularly golfers complaining. And first of all, I don't care for golfers complaining. You have the most dream job in the world. You don't pay for flight. You travel the world. You work 4 days a week. If you suck at your job that week, you go home the last 2. Okay, so normally I don't weep for these people. All right? I do not at all. You don't even have to win. You can come in last and still get paid. Okay, more than I'm going to make that week, I can assure you. But that being said, it's the incompetence of the USGA. Every U.S. Open, it seems like every so many years, comes up with some way to jack up a golf course where professional players can't even play on the golf course. Listen, I understand when I'm watching golf that there's no way I can do what they can do. But when a guy is in the event and on the first day shoots a plus 22, I can do that. Okay? That tells you that there's something wrong with the golf course. And then on the third day, on the Saturday, which is supposed to be one of your marquee days, it's moving day. This is where the leaderboard changes. You have people who are putting from 15 feet out, and if you miss the putt, the ball's going 30 feet down a hill. Are you kidding me? Are you joking with me? There's no way or reasoning that they cannot learn from the prior mistakes at the same goddamn golf course that this happened to 13 years ago. 13 years ago, the exact same thing happened. So what was their response? Oh, let's do nothing about it. Let's not change anything. Let's not try and make it better. And on top of it, let's put the pin in a position that make us look like huge dickheads. Yes, because this is the enjoyable golf I want to watch. Okay? Never mind the fact that they tried to correct it on Sunday, which they seem to try and make up for their own time. But when a golfer comes in after shooting 7 over, again, pro golfer, shooting 7 over, and his first thought, before he's even signed his card, is, well, that was fun. Where's Mike Davis, who's the president of the PGA, or the USGA? You know there's a problem, because that golfer's coming in there asking sarcastically to no one in particular where the president is. That means he's probably got something to say, and it's not going to be very nice. So you also have golfers to make your sport look bad on TV saying deliberately they've lost control of the golf course. There's no way to save it and make it playable. And this is the product you're delivering, and this is the U.S. Open. Great representation of America. Well done. Bravo. Thank God you're saving graces. It's next year at Pebble Beach where the winning score is going to be negative 36 because those guys play that all the time.
That green did look like shit this weekend.
It was brown. Yep. I've played courses that are on farms that are in better conditions.
Where is it?
It was at Shinnecock Hills in Long Island.
Oh, that's the problem.
It is every golfer said it repeatedly. This is one of the great golf courses that we have in this country. It is a beautiful course that is difficult because of the wind and because you have to be very accurate. You don't need to put a pin in a dickhead position where it's literally on a hill that looks like you wouldn't be able to drive up in snow. You don't put a hole there and think that, oh, this is going to be more challenging. No, you're just being a dick.
All right. And so I don't watch golf, but I heard Phil Mickelson did something that a lot of people were pissed off about.
This is the hole I was talking about. This was the hole. And normally I would be ranting about Phil because what he did was completely unprofessional. What happened was he was behind the hole on the 15th or the 13th. Those were the two awful pin positions, specifically on Saturday. That's not to say the other ones were much better. But he was about 11 feet out, putts his ball, and it's going to go around the hole. Now, Phil Mickelson is supposed to watch his ball. But knowing what's been happening all day, he knows if he just watches his ball go past, it's going to go 30 feet down the hill, and he's going to now have to bring out his pitching wedge to get it back on the green that he was just putting on. So he decides he's going to run around the hole and hit the ball while it's still moving back towards the hole. Now, this is a Hall of Fame golfer doing this, and willing to accept a 2-stroke penalty because of how bad his situation would have been later. That's what he did. He chose to take 2 strokes and stop the ball from rolling because he didn't feel like walking down there and wasting anyone else's time anymore. Okay? So normally I'd be like, that's poor golf etiquette. That's not how a professional is act. This game is a game that is supposed to be played by gentlemen. But if a Hall of Fame golfer is doing that, you fucked up. Big time. To the point that he doesn't even care anymore. The hole is a par 5. He was willing to take a 10. A 10. That's the kind of John Daly used to do.
Yes.
Not Phil Mickelson. And furthermore, I don't like Phil. I'm not a huge Phil fan. But I kind of understand why he did it, because I would have just been like, just get this the hell over with.
Yeah, but you can't bring John Daly into the equation, because he's the party boy type that would have filled the hole with beer, put a straw in it, and did a 6-foot line of Coke to get to it.
Probably. I mean, but knowing John Daly,